Week 1 ended in a flurry, and it didn't help that week 1 ended right before Easter break, which was recognized on Monday this week rather than the first week. So I wanted to go over some things with you. First, the good news. You can resubmit these things Wednesday by noon. I'll come back in here Wednesday evening and regrade the items that you submitted from last week. I want to go over a few errors with you so that you can see how to correct the mistakes that you might have made in last week's assignment. This is what a works cited page looks like. Some of you put a URL into an AI chat box and asked that chat box to create the citation for you. And that citation was wrong because the AI chatbots do not know how to format works cited correctly. This is what it should look like. You'll notice that there are no live URLs in here. You'll notice on some of your papers that I might have put a notation saying no gap. A gap happens when instead of going 2 spaces, the document somehow when you pasted it from EasyBib into your document, it created a gap. Let me show you where that gap comes from. It's also in the tutorials, but let me show you here too. Let's say, for example, that I pasted the works cited, and it's works cited, not work cited, into my Word document. And again, as we remember, I demonstrate on Word because that comes free in our Outlook with our account as students. And so using that as our level playing ground, I use works Word. Okay. See this gap? Instead of all this extra space, there should simply be 2 spaces and the next citation. How did this happen? It happened up here in layout. And do you see all of this? These should all be set at 0. So look at how it goes away when I get it back to where it should be, which is 0. You see this one here again. Now you can see everything is double spaced. So we want to make sure under layout that we don't have any gaps. We also want to make sure that the author is over at the margin and the second lines are what is indented. Some of you tried to use that quicker route of having AI complete the works cited for you. And I need to remind you of the tutorial that is located in the EasyBib page. Let me show you where that is again, just in case you weren't able to see it. Let me go back and show you. I've logged into the classroom. We remember that this is the first module. This is the Start Here page where we wanted to make sure that we reviewed all of those pages. They're very short. Next we have the little discussion board overview. And this is where we find the study pages, since we don't have a textbook, for the class. And that all important information about EasyBib and using EasyBib is located right here, creating the perfect works cited with EasyBib. There is no shortcut for EasyBib, and it's a skill I need you to learn, and it's a skill you will thank me for later. As you move forward in your education, there is nothing more important than documenting your sources and your research. And under that category, there is nothing more important than documenting your resources properly. And if there was another way to create that using another app, I'd be more than happy to use it. But there isn't. EasyBib will ensure that citations are created properly. Why? Because EasyBib is the only app that keeps up with current MLA as well as APA formats. Why is that important? Because research gets more complicated all the time. And so it is imperative this will become MLA 10, it will become MLA 11, APA 6 will become APA, it will keep going as research becomes more and more complicated and the rules change. AI is not keeping up with this. The only reasons for the existence of EasyBib is to make sure these things are created properly. It does not take long. It's a skill that once the learning curve ends, it becomes second nature. It becomes very easy to do. So I need for you to do that the proper way. Unlike most assignments that are PDF submissions, the Fun with Fallacies assignment was a text entry. That meant that you were to click the assignment and you were to complete the text entry by adding your name, course, date, and your word count, which is shown here, and complete the questions. Understanding fallacies is a key part of this course. And I always think it's fun to look at these very advanced concepts in a fun way. So if you did not do well on Fun with Fallacies, maybe you didn't submit a text entry box, maybe you didn't put your name, course, date, and information. I cannot grade anything that does not show a name. And finally, the argument essay in 6 sentences. I gave you a tutorial that slowly showed you the step-by-step instructions for this assignment. Sentence number 1. Some of you actually wrote a paragraph where you included the word sentence number 1. I needed you to use this format, and I needed you to write the sentences into a paragraph. Then your works cited was to be included, and this was your essay prompt, and this was the example that I showed you. Some of you tried to race through this and turn this in without watching the instructions and without following the instructions. A few people, not very many, but a couple of people took the prompt as it sits, popped it into AI, and asked AI to write a 6-sentence paragraph. I cannot begin to tell you again, it is so obvious when that happens. I am here to prove to you that you are brilliant. You have to work with me for me to be able to do that. Trying to take a shortcut and having AI do the work for you is not a recipe for success. And it doesn't allow me to prove to you just how brilliant you really are. This is the example that I provided for you. The title in any font you like. The image underneath it should look nice. You don't have to frame it. It's not required, but you want it to look nice. Next is the step-by-step instructions for each one of the sentences. Notice that I've taken out any kind of words that would be sentence number 1 or anything. I indent the first word of every paragraph, and I go on down the citation. And I did not put this in our instructions, but I like to end the essay with a compelling image of a little baby it's not required, but you see how that puts a nice punctuation point on the end of the essay. The works cited should be exactly formatted correctly, and then save that as a PDF and submit. Again, for those of you who are still cussing at me, you have until Wednesday noon to resubmit any of those assignments that you did incorrectly. I'm going to reopen the 6-sentence essay so that you have access to that. Simply go through the process again of uploading your work. If it was the text box entry, simply go in and click Begin Submission and change that text box in any way you need to change it to make it correct, and then click Submit. You all were off to a good start, but I'm a stickler with this. I want to make sure that you see how brilliant you are. So work with me.